I ate 5 oranges. How many apples do I have left?
5.
All right. See, you know what's going on. Okay, you got to answer a question for me. Who was the first president of the United States? Thank you so much for coming out and supporting the Mohave County Sheriff's Canines. We appreciate our foundation that does all this work for us and makes it possible for us to have these dogs. And we appreciate all your guys' donations. That's the only way that we get to have them. All of our dogs are funded by your donations. One more thank you to Dennis for letting us host the event here every year. He treats us great and lets us do that. So let's go ahead and get started. I just want to introduce everybody and introduce their dogs. I'm Sergeant Kelly McCool. This is my dog Chase, and he is a almost 5-year-old Dutch Shepherd. At the end there we have Deputy Gano. He has Bruno. Bruno is a German Shepherd. He is 6, almost 7. Deputy Fellish works up on the Arizona-Utah Strip, and his dog is Brutus. Brutus is a monster, and he likes to snap at flies. Brutus is about the same age as Chase. He'll be 5 here shortly. Next is Deputy McCleary and his dog Grim. Grim is the youngest of our dogs. We got him last year. He's about 2.5 years old. And then finally, Sergeant John Wilson. He has Doc. If we don't give Doc something to chew on, he likes to talk a lot and try to talk over people. Doc is a Malinois. We like to call him alligator. And if you took the toy from him, you'd see why. He's constantly barking, snapping, jaws click a lot. What we'd like to do for you guys today is we're going to do some short obedience. We're going to do some narcotics detection, then we're going to do some patrol apprehension with the dogs. Certain dogs will do this demo, and then we'll do another demo at 1 o'clock. All right, so the handler's going to put their dogs away, and then Deputy McCleary's going to come up with Grim. Go ahead and come on up. We'll bring him up here to the front. Grim is like all of our dogs. Are all dual certified. They're trained in narcotics detection. They're also trained in patrol functions, which can include handler protection, building searches, area searches, criminal apprehension, things of that nature. Deputy McCleary got Grim last year from a school in California. He spent 12 weeks with him, and he's been on the streets with us ever since. What we're going to do first is, in one of these 3 boxes, we've hidden some illegal drugs. And we're going to go through and show you kind of what we do with our dogs. When we are looking for drugs in a car stop, or whether it be in a home or anything, we do a certain ritual with the dog. And what that does is that lets the dog know and have a little bit of a tip of what we're going to do. Typically what that includes is pulling a dog to the downwind side if we can, which we are from the boxes. We'll put them in a down position. We'll show them where we want them to search, and then we're going to send them off with a command. Yes. Deputy McCleary's dogs' commands are all in German. In fact, all of ours are in German. Some are a mix of Dutch. And then Deputy Gano's dogs are in French. So if you brought croissants to throw to the dog, you hear them up. Now, Deputy McCleary's dog, Grim, is a little bit different than ours in that when our dogs smell the narcotics, we have what's called an alert, and that's a change in their behavior. When he gets to it and he indicates where it's at, we call it an indication. Some dogs have an active indication, like Chase and our other dogs, and they scratch to let you know where they've detected it. Deputy McCleary's is passive, which means when he smells it, he's going to sit on the ground. And then you'll notice that Deputy McCleary carries a toy with him. We always usually carry a toy if we're doing some sort of a search, and that is his reward. For him, he couldn't care what he's smelling. All he knows is that if he smells something he's trained on, marijuana, methamphetamine, cocaine, or heroin, and he lets his handler know, he's going to get to play with that toy for an amount of time. So that's what he's looking for. Everything we teach the dogs is a game to them. So we'll let our Deputy McCleary go ahead. He'll do his ritual, and then you'll get to see him let Grim search. So there you go. So Grim gets his command, Grim takes off, and we all think it's impressive, but we got to make sure it's right. And it was right. For some reason, Grim likes me only to play with him with his toy. Now we're going to bring out Deputy Gano. He's going to do a little bit of obedience with you, and then in addition, he's going to do a search as well, and then you'll get to see the difference between the dogs, between the passive and the passive and the active alert. I thought I was in a swarm of bumblebees for a second there. So this is Deputy Gano. He works up in the Kingman area, and that's his partner, Bruno. Bruno's a German Shepherd. He's about 6 years old. Hi, Bruno. Good to see you, buddy. He's going to do a little bit of obedience. We make sure that our dogs are extremely obedient. I've had people ask me today, what about them being around other dogs and whatnot? We want our dogs to focus on us solely. So if we're doing a search, say we're going from yard to yard, we want them to pay attention to us, not worry about a dog that might be in the yard, things of that nature. And you'll see a lot of the time when Bruno is walking with him, he'll look up at Deputy Gano just to make sure of what they're doing. And that's the focus that we want from them. This is everybody's favorite part. 100-pound swing. So that's Bruno, and then what we're going to do is Deputy Gano is going to have him search for the drugs as well. And he'll go through a similar situation where he'll put the dog in a down position. He'll go and show the dog the area that he wants him to search, and then he'll give the dog the command. His is going to be different commands than what we have. Like I said, his dog is in French. Now he's trying to rip our lieutenant's arm out of socket. And then instead of a passive alert like Grim did where he sat down, Bruno is trained to scratch to show us that he's onto the odor of drugs. So he'll take the toy away because, again, we have them work, and when they do what we need them to do, that's when they get the reward of the toy. Did not hide it in the speaker. And there's a scratch. And he starts scratching to let us know. So that's the difference, is the contrast in the two dogs. Good? Get your monster. Apart from Deputy Gano swinging his dog around, everybody seems to like it. What everybody seems to want to see is the dogs play with a chew toy. So we have a volunteer for a chew toy. He was voluntold. It's Deputy McCleary. And then we're going to bring out Brutus. Brutus is kind of abnormally large. He's about 120-pound Malinois. If you saw Deputy Wilson's at the beginning, his was a Malinois as well, the one that had the bite or the chew toy in his mouth. Doc's about 65 pounds. So Brutus is almost twice as big. So what we're going to do is we're going to do some apprehension work with the decoy, show you some of the commands, their verbal outs. We have to be able to verbally make them release somebody. He sees what he wants. A large calm toy. Those are nice fluffy suits, trust me. Now if you notice, Deputy Fellish is able to have him release the suspect and come back to him just with a verbal out. It's super important that we're able to do that.
All the way down.
Part of our certification process that we do every year with the dogs is they have to remain in control. They have to be obedient. They're trained to sit or be in a state position while we're checking a suspect for weapons, like if we were to put them under arrest and whatnot. And they're trained to do nothing until we're telling them to, or they sense that the handler is in danger. Now what Brutus is doing is called a bark and hold. You might find the suspect. It's not a situation where you can apprehend the suspect, but he's going to stay close and make sure the suspect's not going anywhere. This will be in Deputy McCleary's best interest.
Suspect stand still. Brutus out. Move.
Pretty awesome. We put the biggest dog with the smallest canine handler. So that's it for right now. We're going to do another show at 1.